Hey everybody, we're back for our video for April 16th. Hopefully you're staying healthy, everything's going good with you. I want to thank everybody who's doing their stuff on time. It makes my life so much easier. So please make sure that you are doing what you're supposed to do. Upload your pictures to the Google Doc of your notes and your homework. Again, we're going to keep things pretty short and simple for you. So hopefully that keeps you guys motivated, wanting you to do this stuff. A couple problems you got to do with me, maybe like a 10, maximum 15-minute video. And then after that, you got about 3 to 4 problems usually, and you should hopefully be able to knock those out in about 10 or 15 minutes as well. So maybe a half hour on math we're looking at. All right, so you guys, we're going to continue with the whole trig function and right triangles, but today's going to be a little bit different because notice where the variable is. Yesterday, your variable was always on a missing side, but now your variable is going to be a missing angle. So setting up the equation, there is no difference at all, but solving, there is a big difference. So look at this triangle, and again, you can pause at any time so you can think, and then see if your thought process matches up with my work. So try to think about, would you use sine, cosine, or tangent for this? Well, in order to do that, I always label my triangle, or the sides of my triangle. Across from the 90 is the hypotenuse. Across from the angle that they reference or give you, again, they gave it to you as a variable, but they still gave you an angle, is the opposite side. And then the third remaining side is the adjacent. Well, in this case, the opposite side doesn't have anything, so we won't use it. And we'll be using cosine then. So to set up your equation, remember that an angle must follow your trig function. We would set up cosine of the angle happens to be the variable x, which we'll be solving for, is equal to a ratio or a fraction of the adjacent side divided by the hypotenuse side. But now we have to understand how to get x by itself. I've seen in the past, kids say, oh, I divide both sides by cosine, and then they'd even mess that up. They take the cosine of 12/13. Please don't do that. There is a little special way to get rid of trig functions if you want to get rid of the trig function, leaving the variable. In order to get rid of any trig function, you have to do the inverse of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take inverse cosine to get rid of cosine. Now when I do that, I have to be fair in my equation and do it to both sides. So I'm going to actually take the inverse cosine. It's cosine with a little -1 exponent, but it's not really a -1 exponent. And then I do that to the left side. And I also have to do it to the right side. Oops. I want that to stay all the regular color. So my new work is really in blue there. All I did was to solve for x, I took this equation, I did the inverse cosine on the left side, inverse cosine on the right side. But now we need to know what happens on the left side. The inverse cosine and the cosine are considered to be inverses or opposites of each other, so they reduce or cancel each other out, leaving me with just x. So now I have x is equal to the inverse cosine of 12/13. Well, I could write that down, but what I want to know is about what angle that is. So if you look on your calculator, it's usually the shift or the second key, and cosine right above it will be inverse cosine. You take the inverse cosine of, and it starts a parentheses for you. I usually do that fraction as a division symbol, but 12 divided by 13, and I got 23 in my calculator, approximately. Now I always round to the nearest whole number for an angle. So since it's 23, the one thing I don't want to do is box it now. So press pause and see why you think that I might not find that to be the correct answer. And the reason why is it's an angle, so it has to have a degree measurement. 23 is not x, 23 degrees. So when you're doing inverse trig, when you type that in your calculator doesn't give you the degree symbol, but you need to know to put it there. All right, let's try number 2. Very similar process. Number 2, we have a right triangle. First thing we'll want to do is we will want to label our sides to know which trig function to use. Across from the 90 is the height. Across from the angle that they reference is the opposite, and the third remaining side is the adjacent. Now to those three sides, the hypotenuse has nothing on it, so I'm not going to use it in this problem. And which trig function would I use? Hopefully you said tangent. Now let's see if we can set up the correct equation. It is tangent of the angle. Well, this angle is a Greek letter. It's still a letter or a variable, theta. So it's like 0 with a line through it. Now I put a little squiggle line personally. That's just the way I write it. But you could just draw a straight line through it there. Is equal to the opposite side divided by the adjacent side, which is considered to be a ratio or a fraction. So now how do you get rid of the tangent but leave the theta or the variable still there? You will do the inverse tangent of both sides. Now I'm just going to do it all in black. So I'm going to take the inverse tangent of the left side, and to be fair, I do the inverse tangent of the right side. Now on the left side, inverse tangent and tangent reduce or cancel each other out, so I just have theta. And then on the right side, I actually typed that in my calculator. Second tangent of 13 divided by 4 is approximately 73. But again, remember when you're solving for an angle, 73 degrees. All right, so you guys, this is going to be your last new lesson of the week. On Friday, which would be April 17th, we're going to actually have a Google form. It's going to be multiple choice, where you're going to be able to try to find missing sides, missing angles. So if you forget about how to find missing sides, you can watch the video from yesterday. But this is how to find missing angles. All right, you guys, I'm going to show your homework here on the screen, but it was good to see you, or maybe at least you see me. And it's your boy, Mr. P, but here are your homework problems. Please make sure you do these as well for the Google Doc. Get zoomed in there. So make sure you do those 3 problems, solve for the missing variable. All right, have a great day. See you later.